boring legal. That's some boring legal stuff that we had to go through. But this is a true honor and privilege for me to be able to kick off this Zoom today.
Recording in
Yeah, of
progress.
course.
Who
But
did?
he's a good guy.
George
He's
Furness,
right.
just a guy we know.
He's a nice guy. Everybody comes.
You guys must have-
There's the electrician in there.
Mindy.
Yeah.
Mindy,
Might be.
Hey guys, can you all mute
On the
yourselves?
bottom over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's on the.
at the bottom right-hand corner.
My mouse is not working with me.
Mindy, at the bottom,
This is the guy.
I hear you, Derek.
At the bottom, yeah.
at the bottom, mute all.
Wow.
Let's. Yeah,
Those
turn
turn
it.
out.
Is it because it's on my computer?
Try it on your computer. Making it louder on your computer. Well, that is your computer.
Yeah, I know. How do I shut off the computer so that I can hear it on the TV? Okay, maybe I gotta shut off my speaker.
Dennis, can you mute your computer? Dennis, mute. Hello? Mick, can you mute your computer, Mick? Vanessa, Jeff Lane, Mike, Brianna, Shelley Hooper, Rich, can you mute your, can you mute that, please? Thank you. And Mindy, your video is off right now.
Yep, got it, thank you.
There you
Hi.
go. Okay, you on mute?
I'm unmute. Everybody, if you just unmute yourself or mute yourselves, that would be great. There we go.
There should be a button, Mindy, that says mute everybody.
I don't see it.
It's,
In the
I believe,
bottom
if
right?
you go down to, if you go down to participants, at the bottom left-hand corner, there's a toolbar at the bottom, it says participants. At the bottom, it should say
Got it.
mute.
Got it. Thank you. All right, that's better. I usually do keep it on for the empowered agents because it's interactive.
Yeah.
So I do like to have the people's interaction on that. And I love to see everyone's faces too, because it's so nice to have an interactive class. I don't care. There's Laura. I know, you know what? Boldness is rewarded, you guys. And I don't care what your hair looks like. I don't care if you're answering emails. I would love to see you. I always like to see who's responsive. I watch who's shaking your head, and I'd love to see what resonates with you. So please show your face. I don't care what your hair and makeup looks like. So thank you all. I love seeing your faces. Thank you so much.
So I've got to jump on a NAR Chicago thing in a few minutes, but it was super important for me to jump on this Zoom today. First of all, it's not often that you have one of the most talented realtors that I've ever met in my life be able to give back in such a big way, her knowledge, her experience. Now, listen, there's two ways that you can condense time in life, okay? And what do I mean by that? The first way is you can hire a bunch of people and leverage their time to build your business. Or the more effective way, I believe, is to learn from somebody that has already gone through the path that you want to go on at the highest possible level. That's the two ways to condense time. The first one obviously cost you a lot of money. The second way, we can all do it. And I can tell you from this journey I've been on since January, I've been on this educational transformation of my life and business. I've been surrounding myself, putting myself in the right rooms with one goal: help me get from point A to point B, not on grit, not on work ethic, but on smarts and intelligence. And that is why I'm just absolutely thrilled that you're going to have this experience here today with Mindy. She is not only a rock star in the industry, she's the best of the best. When I started this company in 2014, she's been the #1 realtor every single year, regardless if we had 100 agents, 200 agents, 400 agents, #1, 600 agents, #1, 800 agents, #1, 1,000 agents. How is this person going to continue to do this? Number one, 1,300 realtors now, 10 consecutive years, regardless of the competition. Number one agent for sales volume. That does not happen unless you have figured out a blueprint and you've taken massive action in your business and you've implemented at the highest level. So, with that said, it's an honor and privilege to bring Mindy on to all of you today. I've got to jump to that other Zoom. Now, listen, little fun tidbit, Mindy. You know this. We've now closed 36,000 property as a company. She closed the first property ever on February 28th, 2014. She was the first closing. Think about that. So we're not talking about somebody that just dabbles in real estate. We're talking about the best of the best. And Mindy, it's a true honor and privilege to bring you on today. And I know you're going to crush it. I've got to jump, but I had to jump on and say that you mean the world to me. You're just awesome. And thank you for everything you do at MVP. Your professionalism is at the highest possible level. And these agents are in for a treat. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Derek. I really appreciate those kind words. And thank you for all that you do for me and for the agents and for this industry. I know you're dealing with a lot right now, and for you to take time to do this for me and for the agents is absolutely incredible. So thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Everybody.
Okay, thank you.
And remember, mute yourself, everyone. Mute yourself. And then you can unmute when she wants to talk to you. Bye.
Thanks. Thank you. All right. Welcome, guys. That was so nice of Derek to say. So I'm so excited to have you all here. I would love to see your faces. I know you are doing a lot of different things right now. That's okay. But I really I love interacting with you guys. And since I can't be there in person, it's so nice to at least see you. I like seeing what resonates with you and what makes you pay attention. So it's okay if you're answering emails. I get it. I'm a realtor. I do 10 things sometimes at once. But so first of all, today, I want you to know that success is possible. Whatever you want to achieve, it's possible. I'm a testament to that. For those of you who've known me for a long time, you know that I grew up poor, like free lunch poor, like living in a trailer park poor. And when I moved to Naples, I had $1,500 to my name. Everything I owned fit into my Geo Storm. And I only knew one person here. So where you are right now is not what you're capable of. It's just simply where you are right now. So I want you to remember that. Thankfully, I found a circle of people that made me realize that no matter where you started or where you are right now, that anything is possible. And I'm talking like really amazing people like Stephen King, who grew up poor, just like I did. And I'm talking about some of the country's most successful CEOs of the largest companies in the world and entrepreneurs, people who grew up poor, but went on to do amazing things. And it made me realize if they started off just like I did, and they went on to do these amazing things, then why not me? And I realized I wasn't dreaming big enough. And that changed my life. And so my question to you today is, why not you? The truth is, you can create a life whatever you want. If you want to make $100,000 a year or $100,000 a month or $1 million a year, you can. I know it's possible. The question is, do you believe in yourself? And the question is, are you willing to do what it takes? First and foremost, you have to believe you can, and you must be willing to take action to make it happen. So I'm going to help you today with some effective action steps that you can take and build your business and create an amazing life. If you've been selling real estate for less than 12 years, you've never sold in a declining market. The market's been going up since 2011. So it's lucky you, but it's going to take more work and specialized skills and a higher level of expertise to succeed in this market. And I know there's people from all over the country on this call today. I know we have a lot of people from Florida, but we have people from California, North Carolina, Georgia, a lot of people from Illinois and Tennessee. And I know that not all of you are in a declining market. Lucky you, but you might be. So this is good news to have to stay ahead of the rest of the competition. And also, regardless of what market you're in, information will definitely help you build your business and set yourself apart from the competition. So today I'm going to go over 5 topics that will help you succeed in the declining real estate market. I was a little overly ambitious with picking 5 things today, because what I'm doing today is what would normally be 5 separate topics in my training program, the Empowered Agents program. I would normally do just 1 topic per day in more detail. So I've got a lot to cover today, and I want to leave time for question and answer at the end so that I can personally help you with any challenges you're having, and just to help you with your specific challenges and whatever you need help with. So let's go. So the first topic I want to talk about is becoming a market expert. How do you set yourself apart as the expert? There are thousands of agents sometimes in your market, at least hundreds. So you need to know what to say and how to speak about the market so that when you speak, that potential buyer or seller is going to say, wow, that's my agent. You make it clear that you are the only choice for that buyer or seller. So how do you do that? Well, every day somebody asks, how's the market? I see that all the time, especially on Facebook. I saw this on a post the other day, and I was actually kind of mortified at some of the answers. It was a little cringy. I went down the stream and everybody was posting things like, oh, the market's great. I listed 3 houses today. Or, oh, the market's great. I listed 2 houses. Boom, fire emoji. Well, I hate to break it to you, but that is absolutely no indication of how the market is doing. In fact, all it really showed was that everyone's listing houses and no one's selling them, so that the market is shifting. Well, what it really does tell you when you reply with an answer like that is that you're not educated enough to know the market well enough to give an educated answer. So you being busy has absolutely nothing to do with the current market conditions. Nobody really cares about your schedule. So they want you to know the facts. But more importantly, they want you to know the facts. So instead, you need to be knowledgeable enough so that you can answer the question something like this. Hey, Bob, we're actually seeing a little bit of a tick downward in the market. The number of sales is down about 10%, but prices are still holding pretty steady. We saw a 3% drop over last year, which is typical considering that market we were in. Our inventory is up to 6,600 homes for sale, whereas this time last year we had about 5,000. So we're seeing better opportunities for buyers. Why do you ask? Are you thinking of buying or selling? That's pretty easy, right? And didn't that sound a lot better than, oh, I'm so busy? I think so. So how do you do this? Well, it's really easy because your board of realtors gives you all the information you need. All you have to do is download the stats from MLS. But you need to not just read the stats, you need to know them. So also, by the way, that's an excellent social media post. So after this training, it's all about taking action, right? So that would be a great social media post. And don't just make that post of the infographic. Do what I wrote, basically say what I just said. You have to decipher it for them. You can't just post the infographic. So that's a great social media post. But one way I learned when I first started learning the market statistics is that you put an index card and put at the top the month and the year. And then you're going to put important information on this, like the average sales price, the average days on the market, the total number of homes for sale, the total months of inventory, and the average list to sales price. And I would take this card everywhere I went. I would look at it when I'm brushing my teeth. It's great when you're sitting at stop signs, sitting at doctor's office. And what this is going to do, it's going to help you memorize these statistics so that when somebody asks you, you can speak it so intelligently and so knowledgeably that they are just blown away with the way you speak. And file that every month because then you'll have months and months of knowledge at your fingertips and in your head. So, and it's also going to help you notice market trends. So one of the other things I recommend is tracking daily statistics. I'm having trouble with that word today, and I have to say it like 10 more times. Statistics. Okay, so this, I don't know if you can see it. This is my way of tracking the daily market statistics. So here's what I track. Every day I put the number of new listings, the number of pending sales, the number of sold listings, the number of price reductions, how many homes came back on the market, and the total number of homes for sale. This is so powerful, and it's going to teach you so much. I can tell you the number of homes for sale in any given month going back to 2015. The only thing I wish I would have started it sooner. It is so valuable, not just to me, but to my clients, because it helps me pick up on trends really fast. For example, in October of this past year, our inventory in Naples, it was staying steady at around 2,500 homes for sale for several months. And then all of a sudden in October, it went from 2,800 homes for sale to almost 4,000 by the end of December. So that was a huge jump in inventory. And also the number of homes that went pending on some days was about half. So this was absolutely something to take notice of. And the same thing happened in our market in March of 2022. In Southwest Florida, March is historically the biggest month for pending sales. Typically, the inventory decreases dramatically during the month of March, but not March 2022. In March 2022, it actually started increasing. In fact, from March 1st to the end of May, it almost doubled. So don't you think this is valuable information to know if you're buying or selling? Absolutely. So I made sure all of my sellers were informed of this information. Most people weren't even paying attention. Most agents didn't even notice, but I noticed. And those sellers that listened to me, they're so happy because they got aggressive and they sold their homes. And those that didn't, they sold their homes for a lot less than they could have if they would have sold it in March. And I still know of one couple who's on their third agent, and their home is worth about $300,000 less than what it would have been worth if they would have sold it in March of 2022. So I always tell my buyers and sellers, I can't predict the future, but I can get an idea as to what is happening in our market in our area, oftentimes before most agents do. By the way, I never predict future values. Okay, I see people doing this all day long. It is so dangerous. You can't predict the future value of a home. Even the world's best economists can't do that. So don't tell people what their home's gonna be worth in a year or 5 years or 10 years, because you don't know. Everyone's talking about, well, the interest rates go up. That you don't know that, because there's a lot more to home prices than interest rates. We can speculate that, but I'm telling you, it's a huge liability to tell someone that their home's going to be worth more. I've been through 2005 and 2006 and 2007 when we told everybody how much they're going to make, and then everything happened and their home was worth half in about a year. So don't predict future home values. Okay, that was being a market expert. Topic number 2 is, oh, well, one thing I wanted to point out is that studying, when you study and you learn these statistics, you'll be amazed at how you, like when someone asks you a question, you'll be amazed at how you answer it and how that information just rolls off your tongue, and it makes you look really informed and educated, and it will wow your potential buyer sellers, and it gives you great confidence. So definitely become a market expert, know it, speak it, be it. So number 2, design your day for success. So someone asked me the other day, what is your secret? And I don't know if I have a secret. I don't know if there is a secret, but I did answer her, and I told her that I'm very protective of my time. I do everything possible to control my day and my time and not to let anyone waste it. Time is the one thing that you can never make more of. It's the most valuable asset you have. And I think that's a big reason for the gap between those that are successful and those that are struggling. Those that are struggling don't protect their time and they don't use it effectively. And designing your day is so much more than scheduling. I'm not just talking about scheduling. It's really about creating habits. Creating effective habits is one of the most important things you can do if you want to have a successful business and a great life. All the things you do every day compound to bigger things. So you want to ensure that your habits are creating the life you want rather than creating a life you don't want. Habits compound and create a ripple effect on your success. So you can design your life. In fact, it's up to you to design it, because if you don't design it, it's going to get designed for you. So take control of your life, design your life. You have to run your business like a business, and you have to let your day control you and not let, or you have to control your day and not let your day control you. In order to have a high level of success, you have to strategically plan. So of course, the day never goes as planned in real estate. That's a given. That is one thing that is a certainty, is it's never going to go as planned. You're going to get offers, you're going to get phone calls, you're going to get wrenches thrown in your deals, but you can strategically plan it and control it enough to make sure that certain things, the most important things, are a priority, and make it into every day and become a habit for you. So one thing you don't want to do is wake up and start your morning responding to emails. The key word there is responding. If you're in response mode, you're working in your business and not on it, and you'll never grow your business that way. So the very first and the most important thing to put into your schedule every morning is lead generation. You have to constantly be looking for new leads every single day. The reason agents have peaks and valleys is because they get busy with current deals, and they get in this whirlwind and they start working on admin tasks, and they don't generate future business. So of course you have to handle current deals, right? But you must first make time to generate leads for future deals. If you don't, you'll never sell more than 10 homes a year. And if you're only going to sell 8 to 10 homes a year, then you better just do it by March and take the rest of the year off, right? So lead generation is contacting, depending on your goals, 10 to 20 people a day in your sphere of influence, in your database, for sale by owners, expireds. Lead generation is not blogging, it's not making videos, it's not doing admin or Facebook posts. Lead generation is actually speaking to people. The more conversations you have, the more you're going to sell. And I don't mean going to happy hour. I wish it was, but it's not. I mean speaking to people specifically to ask them, or if anyone they know are interested in buying or selling. So what do you say? What do you say? If you're gonna start this tomorrow, what are you gonna say? Well, I think people overthink this, and I think that's why a lot of people don't do this. So I want to tell you a story about when my first day when I did it. And I remember it was probably around 2007. And I actually remember very clearly, I remember like the nervousness in my stomach. I went to a real estate convention in Las Vegas, and the coach told us, and he said, go back to your rooms and call 10 people and ask them if they know anyone that wants to buy or sell real estate. And I was like, man, I don't want to call people. I had another business. I was a fitness instructor. I was doing just fine. I didn't want to start calling people, but I was there. I did want to increase my business. So I was determined to do it. So I go to my room and I was like, okay, who am I going to call? I decided to call my friend Livio. He was the lowest entry barrier point. He was the easiest phone call because I talked to him every day. We were in the process of doing a big project together, and I talked to him every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. So I thought this one's going to be an easy one. So I called him and I said, just what my coach told me. I said, hey, Livio, it's Mindy. Do you know anyone who wants to buy or sell real estate? And he said, Sylvester, do you need money? And I was like, no, I just want to know, do you know anyone who wants to buy or sell real estate? And he said, well, actually, yeah, my ex-wife has 2 homes to sell. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? I literally already talked to you today. I talked to you 2 times yesterday. I've talked to you every day for the past 3 months. Why are you just now telling me this? But that goes to show you that is the absolute perfect example of you have to specifically ask people, because they don't think about you as much as you think they do. They are not necessarily just going to tell you when they know someone who wants to buy or sell real estate. It's the absolute perfect example. So it's that simple. Just call them and ask them. Or you could go another route and you could call with value. So one, you could say, anybody who owns a home, they're always interested in what their home is worth. So you could always call them and say, hey, I noticed a cute little house that just hit the market in your neighborhood. Do you know anyone who might want to buy and live in your neighborhood? No? Well, have you thought about moving? And that's it. Like, that's not that hard of a phone call, right? Because you're telling them about a cute new house that came on the market and you're asking them if they're moving. Just start a conversation. You need conversations. Conversations lead to appointments, and appointments lead to sales. So if you don't have appointments this week, there's a very strong chance you won't have a sale. So I always try to schedule showings, appointments, inspections, everything for later in the day to ensure that my lead generation gets done. Of course, it doesn't always work out that way. We don't always have control, but you always want to try your best because it's like a workout. Once you skip a workout and then you skip another workout, you just make it easy for yourself to skip workouts. And skipping workouts just becomes a habit for you. So you want to do everything you can to try to control your morning so that you don't do anything other than lead generation. And you likely have more control than you think. I've been guilty of this in the past many years ago, and I've seen my friends do this. When someone calls, they literally will grab their keys, they'll run off, they'll run out the door when a buyer or seller calls, their shoes falling off, and they just run out the door. Well, you don't have to do that because most of the time, I'm going to say 90% of the time, you have more control over your schedule. So when a buyer or seller calls and asks to meet you at 9 in the morning, rather than just saying yes, say something like, I already have a 9 o'clock appointment, but I'm very flexible in the afternoon. Would 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock work? It's that simple. And most of the time it does. And if it doesn't, then at least you can decide at that point what you want to do. But more than often, they're usually flexible, at least until 11. So at least you can still get your lead generation done. So second, after your lead generation, you must do lead follow-up every day. So you need to know that you're not the only person contacting your leads. There are several other agents with that same lead, and you need to stand to fight out, and you need to be one contacting the most often with the most valuable information and the best homes. Fight for it. Fight for it like a dog on a bone. Remember your why. When you don't want to do it, just think about your goals, think about what you want, why you want it, pick up the phone, and remember that one phone call can just change your month. One phone call could be worth $15,000. Heck, in some markets in Naples, one phone call could mean $100,000. So just pick up the phone and just do it. So people ask, well, what do you say when you follow up? Well, that goes back to what I was talking about earlier with being the market expert and really knowing your market. You're going to be constantly following up because you're going to be the one to notice the new listings when they hit. You're going to be the one to inform them of the price reductions and anything that, is valuable information for what meets their criteria. So don't leave it to auto email. We all have these functions on our MLS that automatically emails people, and I don't want you to rely on that. And I'm going to give you another perfect example. Over the summer, I was in my cabin in Georgia and I didn't have internet. So I called my friend and said, hey, can you help me? I got to get this contract signed and I don't have internet. So she logged onto my app files and lo and behold, she pulled up the contract and that contract was her buyer. It was a buyer that she sent that home to, and she wasn't the agent that wrote the contract. So that was pretty heartbreaking for her, and I felt terrible for her. But you know what? The truth is, she just sent the email, and she didn't call the person and say, hey, I just sent you this great house. Do you want to see it? You absolutely have to email them. And if it's something great, call them or text them and say, hey, listen, check out the home I just sent you. Let me know if you want to go see it. Text messages are the most effective, then phone calls, then emails. Emails get less than 30% open rate. Text messages are the most effective way to get someone's attention and to get them respond. So that's why I always say it's important to have your leads in front of you every day. That's also why I say the best CRM is the one that you're actually going to use. Because if your leads are buried in your CRM rather than in your face, like on your wall or in a notebook or somewhere where you see them every single day, the chances of them getting lost or getting taken by another agent is rather high. So you need to block off at least 1 to 2 hours every day for lead follow-up. And if you don't have enough to fill the 1 to 2 hours, then you need to do some more lead generation and more open houses. So I'll get to that in a minute. So after lead generation, after lead follow-up, next, I would work on my transactions, communicate with buyers and sellers, follow up on the transactions to make sure the deals are going smoothly and that they're going to get to closing. And this is when I respond to emails. So next, I do things like social media, videos, creating Google ads, Facebook ads, creating postcards for the farm area. And the amount of time that you do this is going to depend on how many appointments you have, how many listing appointments and buyer appointments you have. But if you don't have any appointments in the afternoon, you want to shoot for at least one appointment every day. That's what your calls are for, to try to get appointments, try to get FaceTime. Appointments are the leading indicator to getting a sale. If you don't have any appointments, I highly recommend you take your laptop and go sit at an open house. Why? Because there is a slightly over 0% chance that a buyer is going to walk into your home office and look to buy a home. But if you're sitting in an open house, your chances increase drastically. I once sold a house, a $4 million house, at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday morning. So one person can change your whole day or your month. And if you're going to be sitting at a computer anyway, doing videos, doing marketing, do it from an open house. Maybe someone will come in. For those of you in Florida, there will never be more people here right now in the state of Florida for the rest of the year than there are in the next 2 weeks. So maximize this opportunity. I highly recommend right now, being an election year with the market shifting, that you go all in the next 6 months. Whatever you are planning on doing for the year, push that to the next 6 months. Once the election gets closer, the noise is going to be so loud. People are going to start being scared. They're going to hold off on big purchases like homes, and they're going to say, oh, we're going to wait and see what happens. Heard that too many times. So get as many sales as you can right now in the next 6 months before the noise gets really loud. Double down on everything you're doing and just make the most out of these next 6 months. So one thing I also highly recommend is that you find at least 30 to 45 minutes a day for exercise. So everybody has their peak training time. Mine is personally in the morning, because if you don't do it in the morning, the phone starts ringing and it gets harder and harder to do. So one thing I know is that every day is better with exercise. You're not only physically stronger, but mentally. We deal with so much craziness every day. It makes you mentally stronger. And no matter what happens in the day's always better when you know you took care of yourself mentally and physically. No one ever regretted a workout, right? So the reality is, above all that, you must take care of yourself first. And that's hard for us to do in this business. We have so many distractions. But as a former flight attendant, as they say, put your own mask on first, then that of the other person. And that's something I struggled with for many years, not taking care of myself first. I would always put my clients first for so many years, and I gave myself whatever was left over. And we all know there's rarely anything left over, right? And my health suffered from this, and so can yours. So that is specifically the reason why I want you to have a very detailed and structured schedule, and to create powerful, effective habits so that you can make time for all the things that are important to you and have a healthy, wealthy, fun, and successful life. When you have a schedule and you have habits, you do it. You don't wait until you feel like doing it. Feel like doing it, feeling like doing it, wanting to do it, that's irrelevant. You do it because it's on your schedule and you know that's what you have to do to get what you want. So again, it's not about a schedule. It's about forming habits, effective habits that will help you achieve things that you may never have thought possible, and committing to those habits that you can sell more homes and create a better life for you and your family. So topic number 3, mastering open houses. I have never, in the 24 years that I've been selling real estate, have I ever had more success with open houses than I have this year. Right now, I have under contract 2 homes that I've double-sided, one for 800,000 and one for 1.8 that resulted from open houses. And one of the guys I mentored, I don't know if he's on this call, he has sold 3 homes from an open house, 800,000, 1.3, and today is Nick here. He wrote a 2.5, he just got it accepted, $2.5 million contract from an open house. So they work, they are effective if you know what to do, if you do them effectively. So how can you stand out? How can you convert open house visitors to leads? So first, you'll want to do pre-open house stuff, driving traffic. Number 1, make sure it's on Zillow, okay? Or make sure it's on your MLS, because this will go to Zillow, Realtor.com. 95% of home buyers, they look on the internet. So most of the people that come into your open house have already seen it on these sites, and they come specifically because of this. Number 2, no later than Wednesday or Thursday, do a video, a Facebook or Instagram reel or a live video to announce the open house. Be sure to mention the best features of the house. Try to go to the house if you can. And it's really simple. You don't have to be on the video if you don't want to, but just do a video like this. Hey, it's Mindy. I just want to show you the house that I'm having open on Saturday from 1 to 4. It's absolutely gorgeous. Check out this house. Give them some info, right? Walk through the house. If you can't go to the house, if it's occupied, or for whatever reason you can't go there, just take some photos from if it's your listing or the listing agent, and do a reel and do a voiceover. But definitely give them a sneak peek on as to the great house that you're going to have open on the weekend. Or whatever day it is. Number 3, send that video to your database in addition to posting it on your social media. So then check your open rates and see who opens it. Make note of the people who open it and follow up with them to see if they'll be attending or if they have any questions. This will show you 2 things. Number 1, it'll show your database how active you are. And number 2 is also going to show you who's actively looking. So you'll see if they opened it, and that will be a great reason to follow up with them, contact them to see if they might be interested in buying or selling. Say, hey, I noticed you opened the open house video. Are you thinking about buying or selling? There's another lead follow-up. Number 4, while you're in the neighborhood doing the video, knock on 10 doors to tell them about your open house. Now, I think I see some eye rolls. Before you judge on the door knocking, I want to tell you about my good friend in Naples that makes in excess of $3 million a year in real estate commissions. She doesn't have a website. She doesn't buy internet leads. She focuses on a handful of neighborhoods, and she knocks the heck out of doors. So don't knock it until you try it. Jokes are free today, guys. Hardy har har. Okay. So knock on the doors. Knock on the door and say, it's simple. Hey, I'm Mindy. I'm hosting an open house at your neighbor's house at 123 Main Street on Saturday from 1 to 4. It's a beautiful house. Do you know anyone who might be looking to buy in the neighborhood? Or even better, do you know anyone who might want to be your neighbor? Everybody wants to have some kind of say as to who their neighbor is, right? So you might be worried about, oh, I'm going to bother them. No, you're not bothering them. You're including them, and you're helping them find them a good neighbor. Everybody wants a good neighbor. So also, while you're there, hand them a flyer. Remember, they could be future sellers, and this will show them what you're willing to do. Everybody wants sellers now, right? So make sure the flyers are high quality, because everything you do is a reflection on you. You don't want to just print out a black and white flyer from the MLS. Your standards and the material you present say everything about you. Small things add up to big things. And you want them to say, my realtor never did this. So you never know who's the future seller. You make it look like you're knocking on the door to try to sell the house. You're not really. You are, but you're also trying to meet more people, have more conversations, and maybe get a future listing. So number 5, the day before and day of. You're going to do your Facebook, Instagram post again, put on the company page and all social platforms. Number 6, if your open house is in a gated community, be sure to check with the association to see if it needs to be reported. Sometimes they'll make a list and give it to the guard at the gate, which is great when they do. And also, many neighborhoods have sign restrictions. So make sure you check the restrictions and make sure you follow them, because you're not going to impress the neighbors, i.e. future sellers if you don't know or you don't follow the rules. There's a neighborhood I do open houses in every weekend. I farm it. And I know there are rules for no signs. And every day I pull in there on the weekends and there's 20 signs everywhere. I won't do it. I will not put my sign up there because I know that there are certain people who, the homeowners, they know there are no signs allowed. And I'm not gonna break those rules. I'm gonna show them that I know the rules and I follow them. So that's within the neighborhood with sign restrictions. So now on open house day, signs. Place as many signs on as many major intersections as you can. And be sure to put the address. What I do is I print out, before I had branded signs, I print out on really large letters the date or the address and the time. Because once they get into the neighborhood, they're going to see 15 open house signs and you want to make sure they go to you. Now, 90% of the time I see the agents do this and it's too small and you can't read it. You got to remember people are driving, right? And the sign's far. So if you're going to make it too small, you're going to make yourself look bad. So make sure it's legible from a distance. But I highly recommend you use branded open house signs. This really maximizes your exposure. It's like a billboard and you don't have to pay thousands of dollars for it. You get to put all these little billboards up all over on the weekends. I have a friend in Texas that has sold 38 homes from open houses in the past 3 or 4 years. And he swears it's because of his open house signs, his branded signs. He puts out like 20 everywhere. They don't have quite the restrictions we do in Naples. So he puts open house signs everywhere. He sold 38 homes just from open houses. So also, if there's a gate, try to give flyers to the guard. Sometimes they won't take them, but it never hurts to ask. And sometimes they can easily be persuaded with things like cookies and cupcakes. Just saying, it's worth a try. So at the open house, maybe this is common sense, but just to not leave any detail unmentioned, show up 15 minutes early to make sure the house is ready and get it set up. I went to one a couple of weeks ago. They weren't ready. I had to clean the house for 20 minutes. So you want to get there early, make sure it's set up. Don't park in the driveway. Leave it for the guests and don't park in anyone's grass. Make sure you are ready with the lights on and the sign-up sheet before you put the sign in the yard. If you put the sign in the yard and you're not ready and someone comes through and you're rushing around, turning on lights, you don't have your sign-up sheet out, then you're going to miss an opportunity. Like you only get one chance to make a first impression. So you want to make sure you're not disheveled and you want to make sure you maximize the opportunity. Be ready before you put your sign in the yard. And for your sign-up sheet, always fill in on a blank page, the very first one, fully fill out that form, the name, address, email, every single thing, every question they ask. Why? Because people are sheep, they're followers, they're just going to fill out what the person in front of them did. So if you just have the name and email, that's what they're going to fill out. So make sure you do the first one fully. Okay, so the goal of this day is 2 things. Well, really 3 things, but two main things. Number 1, get their contact info. Number 2, get appointments. Number 3, sell the house. Okay. You're not always going to get everyone's contact info. It's just not possible, but try. Because if you're just sitting at the open house and you're just handing out cards and you're just saying, hey, okay, great, call me. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time away from your family. They're not going to call you. They've met 6 other agents today. You need to get their contact information so that you can follow up with them. So there's a lot of psychology behind giving people food at open houses. Inherently, it's human nature for people to want to give something in return when something is given to them. If you're old like me, you might remember the Hare Krishnas that they might still do it. They go to airports and would hand out flowers. They're looking for donations, but first they would just hand people flowers. And they learned that when they give a gift first, the likelihood of getting a donation from that person increased drastically. That's human nature. When someone gives you a gift, or when someone gives you something, you inherently want to give them something in return. If you haven't read the book Influence by Robert Cialdini, I highly recommend it. So from a psychology standpoint, offering them a refreshment at your open house has a lot of benefit. Plus, if they're eating, they're staying longer. And if they're staying longer, you have more time to build a rapport. So at the very least, in the winter, offer them coffee or hot chocolate. In the summer, offer them a cold water. I like to do charcuterie boards because you can kind of keep doing that from week to week. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to do anything big. Just make it look cool and make them say, my realtor never did that. That's the key. Everything, open houses are like an audition every week. It's like you're auditioning. It's like a tryout. You don't know who's coming in to buy or sell, but you have all these opportunities. So absolutely make the most of it. It's like Super Bowl Sunday. If you're not treating it like game day, you're missing an opportunity. So during the open house, this is the most important part. You have to know what to say. You have to be the expert. This goes back to what I said. You have to be a market expert. You have to impress them with your market knowledge. You want them to walk in that open house and say, holy cow, this girl knows her stuff. You have to make it clear there's no other option. Make them forget about the 6 other agents they already met today. So you need to know the market and the neighborhood in which you are hosting. So know the house, know all the houses in the market and every house that's sold in the past at least 90 days. Because guess what? If a potential seller walks in, he's going to know. I guarantee you that. So you have a week before your open house, know those numbers, know what has sold, what it's sold for, the average price per square foot, and know general information. Look at the photos, because if you start talking about a house, but you didn't look to notice that, oh, it backs up to a major road, or oh, that house had mold, said in the listing, then you've lost all credibility. So know general information about it, about the neighborhood and the houses. So here's an example of what I do when someone comes in. So I welcome them and I let them say their name. I ask them what they're up to. I don't ask them how they are. I don't want to know how they are. I don't care how they are. I want to know what they're up to, because I want to know how serious they are or if they're just being nosy. I then ask them if they're familiar with the neighborhood. This is going to tell me if they live in the neighborhood, because they usually tell me if they live in the neighborhood. And then I also want to know if they live in the neighborhood or nearby, if they're also a potential seller, because we always want potential sellers now, right? So then I give them information in the house and tell them to look around. After they look around at some point, I'll come up to them, ask them what they thought, and I'll try to find a common ground. This is really important. I'm just not always going to be talking about the house. I want to talk about a common ground, because people love to do business with people they have something in common with. It builds trust. So I'll notice, oh, I love your Jeep. You know, I have a Jeep. Or if they have a Cubs hat on, oh, I'm from Illinois, I'm a Cubs fan. Whatever you can find to find a common ground, that goes a really long way. So here's how it goes. So they'll walk in, I'll say, hi, welcome, I'm Mindy. Then I let them say their name. What are you guys up to today? Also, really try hard to remember their name. I know that's really hard for us to do because we're thinking about a lot of things, but if you remember their name, it goes really far. Okay, so hi, I'm Mindy, welcome. They say their name. What are you guys up to today? Okay, are you familiar with the neighborhood? And that's when they're going to tell me, yes, no, we live in the neighborhood. So, okay, great. Well, this is a 3-bedroom Serena model. You've got 2 bedrooms in the front, the master's in the back. Take a look. Let me know if you have any questions. So I'm going to let them look around. And then I'm going to come up to them after they've looked for a couple minutes and I'll say, well, what do you think? And that's really important. That's not a throwaway question. I really want to know what they think, because I want to know what they like and they don't like. Because if they don't like this house, I'm going to find them one that they like. So then I say, well, what exactly are you looking for? This is huge. Listen intently, because they're going to tell you everything they want. And this, my friends, is where your market knowledge comes into play. Because this is your opportunity to say, well, first of all, if they like the house, you don't want to steer them away from the house. So you have to use your judgment. But if this house is not for them, then you say, you know what? I know of another one that's coming on the market. It should be on the market in the next week or so. Why don't you give me your contact info and I'll contact you before it hits the market? And almost every single time I can get their contact info from that. Why? Because people want to know what they want, info that no one else has. And if I tell them it's coming on the market, they want the heads up, right? They want to be the first one there. So now I know what they want. I know what they like and what they don't like. And you better believe it. I'm going to hunt down a property for them and I'm going to stay on them like a dog on a bone. I'm also going to ask at some point, do you need to sell your home? Because how many buyers come into your open houses and they have to sell before they buy? Well, that's a perfect opportunity, but you need to set that appointment right then and there. They say yes, they need to sell their home. So well, great, you know what? I'm done here at 4 o'clock. I can be at your home by 4:30 and I can do a market analysis for you. I've done that, I think 4 times so far this year. And I haven't gotten any listings specifically from it just because they're not quite ready to sell. But you're gonna gain so much more of a heads up if you can go right from your open house right to their home. Because guess what? They met six other agents, and those other agents are gonna wait until tomorrow. So if somebody needs to sell before they buy, this is an incredible opportunity. Get the appointment. Don't wait until tomorrow. The 6 other agents are going to be calling them tomorrow. So finally, follow up. This is the most important part. Okay, you're done at 4, you're tired, but you're not done. You have to do the most important part, and that's following up. And the best way to do that, pick up your phone, put the camera on and say, hey, Bob and Susie, I wanted to thank you so much for coming to my open house today. I wanted to let you know I am going to be sending you that information on those other 3-bedroom homes later today. And if you see anything while you're out, give me a call. I'll give you information on any other neighborhoods you come across. Boom, just send it to them. Now, if they give you a fake phone number, but you have an address or you can look up their address, write a handwritten note card. And no, this is not old fashioned. I'm telling you, this is really effective. I have gotten several $1 million plus listings from handwritten note cards. People love note cards. All they get in the mail are bills. So it's a welcome surprise to them when they get a handwritten note card. So those go a really long way. Remember, the little things become the big things. So that's open houses. Master them. They work if you do them effectively. So number 4, marketing strategies. I'm only going to focus on one because I think it's the most important. And for the MVP agents, Derek has over 100 trainings on lead generation, and he is hands down the expert on internet marketing. There's no one better about internet marketing than Derek. So I'm going to leave that to him, and I'm going to focus today on video marketing. If you're not doing reels and video marketing, you're missing a huge opportunity. Can I see by a show of hands, how many of you guys are doing? Anybody? Can you show me? Raise your hand if you're doing video marketing. I see some. Hold on, I gotta scroll through. I don't see a lot of names. Okay, well, that's okay. You're here. Now you're gonna do it. So video marketing is amazing. There's not one better way to get in front of thousands of people. You can market yourself, your expertise, your listings, and it's free. All you have to do is do it. You can get in front of thousands of people. So here are some important strategies to know when you're creating reels. And for those of you in my Empowered Agents program, we are doing reels in 2 weeks. So I'm going to step-by-step show you how to do them perfectly. So, all right, number 1, don't wait until you're perfect. Okay, you're not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Just start getting content out. You're going to get better as you go. Everybody is bad when you start. Okay, and you are your biggest critic. I can assure you, very few people are criticizing your hair and your makeup as much as you are. If they are, screw them. Because you know what? They're the ones sitting on the sidelines watching, not even bold enough to try. Believe me, those that are doing it, those that are also putting out content, they know what it takes and they're not criticizing you. Boldness is rewarded. Okay, just get the content out. Number 2, always use captions. 90% of people do not listen to the videos, they read them. So if you aren't using captions, they'll never know what your video is about. They're just going to keep scrolling. So make sure you use captions. Number 3, the title is the number 1 most important thing. And you need to use a hook that will make them interested. Otherwise, they're not going to watch it. They're going to keep scrolling. They don't know what it's about. You have to capture their attention. So something like the biggest mistake home sellers make, or why your home isn't selling, or this is what all buyers need to know before buying a home. So don't you think if you're buying or selling, that's something you would click on? Absolutely. The biggest mistake I see agents make are not doing good titles and captions. These are absolutely crucial. You're spending so much time writing the script, doing the video, editing the video. Make it right. Don't spend all that time and leave out the most important things, which are title and captions. So number 4, giving value. People get really tired of just seeing just listed and just sold. There's no value in it for them. It's good to do because it shows that you're active, and especially sold, because a sold post is proof that you're getting results. But you also need to create content that's useful and adds value to your target audience. Things like market reports, tips for sellers, tips for buyers. And to get ideas, just think of things during the week that your buyer or seller asks you. Because if one person asks you something, then chances are other buyers have that same question. I do this with the Empowered Agents program. Whenever an agent asks me something, sometimes I don't realize what they need to know. So that's a good way for me to say, oh, you know what? If he didn't know that, then probably maybe that would be valuable for other people to know. So that gives me a great idea for reels to do. So number 5, to ensure that you'll do it consistently, batch your videos. Because our days get crazy, right? So it's easy to skip over a day or then a week and then 2 weeks without doing any videos. But if you batch them, that will help you do it consistently. Plan one afternoon where you do 5 to 10 videos. But have your scripts ready. Start writing your scripts out during the week so that whatever day you're doing your videos, all the scripts are ready. And you just need to change your shirt 4 or 5 times. This is an effective way to make sure you're doing them on a consistent basis. Number 6, make sure all your feed is not all real estate posts. For every one real estate post, you need to post 3 personal posts. This will keep your engagement high because people are going to get blurry-eyed if all they see are real estate posts. Get them engaged and try to connect with similar hobbies. Whatever your hobby is, Jeeps, bulldogs, jokes. People connect with people based on a common ground. So make it personal. Number 7, this could change, but right now, best time to post is between 9 and 10 a.m. And yes, it does matter. Number 8, engage. If someone takes the time to post a comment, respond to them. Engagement is very important for several reasons, but the big one is because the more comments you get, the greater chance you have for the algorithm to push out your video and increase your exposure. And engagement is the entire reason you're doing it. So be sure to respond to comments. Number 9, hashtags. Don't forget to hashtag, and don't use the same exact hashtags on every single post. So this seems to change often, but right now the latest research is saying to use a maximum of 5 relevant hashtags. Sometimes you won't always know if your reels are working, but you got to keep doing it. Creating content that sets you apart as the market expert, it will get noticed, and you might not think it is. Just keep doing it. I can tell you how many videos I've done, and sometimes it doesn't seem like anybody's paying attention or anyone's watching. And then one day you'll get a phone call and someone says, hey, I saw your video and I was calling you, I want to buy a house. And you're like, wow, yeah, it does work. It really does work. And just because you don't notice doesn't mean other people don't notice. And you don't have to get 10,000 likes or views. You just got to get one person to call you. So keep doing it out. Keep doing it. Don't make it perfect. You're going to get better as you go. All right, last topic, client communication. It has been said that success is in direct proportion to how well you communicate. Effective communication is important for many reasons. One is that it keeps your clients happy. And 2 is that it helps your deals from falling through. And it can keep you out of trouble. So if you're working with a buyer seller and they called you for an update, you failed them. They shouldn't be calling you. You need to always anticipate their questions, and you always need to say 2 steps ahead. I tell my buyers and sellers on the first time I meet them, I say, I want you to call me before you get worried or concerned. But the truth is, I want to call them before they ever have a chance to call me. I don't ever want them to wonder or worry. And one way to do this is to create template emails to outline the next steps for both your buyers and your sellers. One for buyers, one for sellers. And I know, like at our company, MVP, we have on our marketing website, we have a graphic that outlines the process that you can customize. So some of you might have that. But at the very minimum, make a template email that says next steps. You know, here are the recommended title companies, the home inspectors, the insurance agents. Let them know what the next several steps to the process are ahead of time. And I always say, listen, here's the next steps. Don't worry about all these right now. I'm going to keep you a step ahead. Just want to let you know what the next steps are. Now, this one's important, guys. Are you listening? Everybody listening? This is a big one. Set their expectations about the home inspection and what the contract requirements are based on the contract. The biggest reason deals fall through are because home inspections and agents don't educate their buyers and sellers. Okay, this can be so easily done. I template email, I say, listen, you're gonna get your home inspection. Here's what's required of the seller. So that way the buyer doesn't say, okay, well, I know I'm buying a 30-year-old house, but I want a new roof and a new AC and a new hot water heater. And they don't have the right expectations. Probably because the agent didn't set them, right? So it's really that kind of communication is so important. So another way is checklists. Love me a checklist. Checklists ensure that nothing is overlooked or missed. Thank God pilots use checklists. In my flight attendant lifetime, I noticed every single procedure a pilot does is a checklist. There's no room for error in a plane that's flying 37,000 feet in the air, and there's no room for error on a real estate transaction when hundreds of thousands of dollars are at stake and you could be sued or held liable for a mistake. So checklists are the best way to avoid mistakes or allowing deadlines to pass and nothing falls through the cracks. And it protects you and it helps with communication. I'll often call people all the time and just say, hey, I'm just calling you to touch base to let you know I haven't heard anything. So you don't ever want them to think that there's a lack of whenever you're waiting on another agent or someone to contact you, you don't want them to think that that's coming from you. So you just call them to tell me you don't know anything yet. They always appreciate. You know what? I've never once had a customer say to me, you know what, Mindy, you're over communicating. You know what? You're just communicating too much. Please stop calling us with all this valuable information. But I bet some clients have been upset, and I bet some of you have lost clients for not communicating enough, right? I think we all have at some point. So, all right. So I'm going to touch on lead follow-up real quick. Once again, I'm going to keep this simple. If you get someone calling you about real estate, just stay on them. Don't worry about following up with them too much. How many leads have you lost because you follow up too much? Really? Have you ever lost a lead because you followed up too much? No. I bet the answer is 0. But I bet you've lost several leads from not following up enough. You can all agree on that? So this goes back to being the market expert, knowing the market well enough so that the second something hits the market, you're on them and you have set yourself apart from the 7 other agents that are contacting them. And you are the one that's giving them the most valuable information the most often. Okay, I was talking a lot. That's a lot. That was a lot. That was fast, but I wanted to leave time. I want to leave a few minutes so that I can answer any specific questions or challenges you have. Do not be shy. There is no such thing as a stupid question. We all started somewhere. People always talk about new agents. I love new agents. You know why? New agents are way better than the agents who've been doing this for 20 years and still don't know the contract. So at least new agents know, hey, they know what they don't know, and you can help them. So don't feel like there's a stupid question. There's a lot of, I've been doing this for 24 years. I still learn something every day. I'm going to unmute you guys here. Hold on. Let me do that. Oh, okay. I think you can all unmute yourself now if you have a question. And there's a little in the corner, you can raise your hand. Do you see where you can raise your hand? Or you can just do this and I'll kind of scroll through. So I've got a few minutes here and I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Anything that's holding you back. Let me have it. Bonnie, let's go. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks
You
for
too.
showing your pretty face too.
Thank you. Two questions actually. So what do you do about all the people that never respond, like 0 response? It's like they're just ghosts, And then the other thing about how you're managing, like with the new rules, I was in Derek's training earlier. So just any tips there?
Okay. So the first question, when you say, how do I handle people? Do you mean like when buyers or sellers don't communicate with me?
Mm-hmm.
I just keep on. I'll contact you. If I spent the time, if I drove across town and I showed you a house, are you walking on a treadmill? No, you look like you're like rocking out.
No, I am walking, but just in place, not on a treadmill.
Oh, okay. Good for
I'm
you.
getting my workout in.
All right. So if I've taken my time out of my schedule and I've showed you a house, or you've taken my time and I have helped you with something like with the houses, I will contact you until you block me or you tell me to stop, because I'm not going to drive across town. You took up my time and then you're going to stop texting me. And maybe they'll here's one thing I just did the other day. Listen, I haven't heard from you in a while. That's always a good one. But I found another house you might like. I just keep doing it until they say I bought something, and that's the worst thing you can hear. But at least if somebody tells you, well, I already bought something, at least you can say, well, listen, I contacted 19 times, so I didn't do anything wrong. They just found another agent that maybe was their family or friends. But if you contact them once every 6 months and they say I bought something, you're like, damn it, that's on me because I wasn't following up enough. So at least at the end of the day, you can say I did everything I could, and that feels so much better than I dropped the ball. So regarding Derek's question or question about the NAR, I am really, I was upset about that for about a couple hours last week when it got announced. And I made the decision that I can't focus my time or energy on that. I'm going to put, like Derek said in the training today, you can't worry about things that you have no control over. And my niece, Mackenzie, I don't know if she's still on the call, she posted something on her Facebook about a famous coach in the area. It says, control the controllables. You can only control the things you can control. We don't have any control over this. We're going to adapt. We're going to pivot. We got to focus our energy on the things that we can control. And that's our actions and our response to things. And that's all that I have the energy and the time for. So I got upset about it for a minute. And then I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I got to stay focused on my business and the people. And then whatever happens is going to happen. And I'll deal with it then. And I highly recommend you all to do that because, to be honest with you, you're probably like me. I'm tired. I'm tired of reading about it on Facebook. I'm tired of reading about the seeing the videos. And you know what? Whatever it is, we're going to deal with it. We're going to cross that bridge when we come to it, and that's all we can do. So, did I answer your questions?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks for answering them. Okay, Patty, is that your hand up? Patty Fortune.
Yeah, hi, Mindy.
Hi.
Hi, I joined you late, so I'm bummed out about that. But I wanted to jump on here.
Nice to see you.
Hey, so everybody's been talking about the NAR thing, and I just wanted to add something positive that I took away. Like you, I was upset for an hour. Then I said, okay, this is going to happen. So how do we move on with it? I've been more upset about seeing the decreased co-op commissions in the MLS over the past 4 or 5 years. That made me more upset. So if you think about it, we've all been watching our income go down, 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 and not using the buyer's agreement that we've been told to use, and we're just kind of been sucking it up and making less and less. And I said, you know what, this is a great opportunity, you guys. Now here's a challenge that we had though, because we all go to ethics training and they tell us in ethics training that it's unethical for us to pick up the phone and call the listing agent and say to the listing agent, hey, you're only offering this amount in the MLS and that's kind of cheap. Would you ask your seller, if I bring my buyer, can I get paid more? We've been told in all of our ethics training for 30 years that that's unprofessional and putting our interest above the buyer's interest, and don't do it. You could be brought up on an ethics violation if that listing agent wants to report you. Now, we've all heard this. We've been to many ethics trainings. So I said to myself, well, then who exactly are we negotiating with? If I can't call this listing agent and I'm not going to contact the seller directly, my buyer doesn't have the money, we've already beat that dead horse, exactly who are we negotiating with? So I wrote a suggestion to NABOR, asked them to run it by their lawyers, and it kind of goes like this. What if they replace the amount of co-op commission with new verbiage that says seller agrees to pay a buyer's agent fee, yes or no? So during your listing presentation, you say to Mr. Seller, hey, if we have a viable buyer, would you pay the buyer's agent's fee, not commission, fee? If he says yes, all you do is just hit yes in the MLS. And what that would do to clear up the ethics violation would allow you and I to have that buyer broker agreement with our buyer. And we would then fill out a one-party showing agreement, just like we do for a FSBO, send it over to the listing agent, because now we have permission. They put in the MLS that the seller will be willing to look at something. You fill out, hey, if Mr. and Mrs. Smith buy your home, would you pay me my fee, right in your fee amount? And now what happens is Mr. Seller will either accept it, he will counter it, or maybe he changed his mind. And either way, now you go back to your buyer, just like you guys do due diligence on CDDs. Is there a lien? Has there been a lawsuit? There been an insurance claim? Hey, Mr. Buyer, this seller is willing to pay X, and that now here's your obligation. You have a little bit left or maybe nothing. Yeah. And so NABOR actually said that they would look into it and they thought that it was the best option so far.
That is a great
Um,
idea, and I'm sure there are gonna be a lot of options, and there's a lot of what ifs, and
Yeah.
that's a really great idea. I hope it works, but again, we beat this dead horse, and I don't want to what if anymore because we don't
Yeah.
know. None of us know. I hope that's a viable option. I think it's a great idea, but I really don't want to spend time on that today because I think there are some people that are dealing with some things that are not just what ifs right now, but maybe some challenges. So I love that information. It's
Yeah.
so good. I hope you're right. I think it's great, but it's just all what ifs. And I
Yeah.
don't deal with what ifs. I can't.
Yeah. It's great opportunity for all of us, though. Yeah.
You're right. And I love your
Mhm.
attitude and thank you for your positivity. And you're absolutely right. We have to turn this negativity into a positive. And that's what the most successful people do. They turn a negative into a positive. So thank you, Patty, for that positivity, that new perspective. And I hope that helps a lot of people. I think it will, because there will be a lot of there's some difficult things that are going to come out of this, but there's some positive things that are going to come out of this. So thank you so much, Patty. That was really, really great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Josephine, hi.
Hey, well, thank you so much for doing this, first of
Thank
all.
you. Thank you for
Really
being here. Nice
appreciate
to
it.
see you.
Same here. Okay, so right now, with all these buyers that are a little bit on the fence for all these, reasons we know, where would you think, where would you say the best platform is? Is it Google? Is it Facebook? Or is it YouTube? Because I've tried the Facebook and I'm getting a lot of tire kickers. What would you put
Are you
your,
talking about Facebook ads?
yeah, yeah.
Open houses and reels. That's why of all the hundreds of things I could talk about today, that's why I picked those. Reels and I'm telling you, like I said, I've never had better luck. I mean, I got a brand new agent that sold 3 houses, let's say over $3.5 million worth of real estate since March from open houses, but you got to do them effectively. People, that is hands down the most effective. And that's why I talked about them today. You got to do reels. Reels can reach thousands of people, live videos and open houses, hands down.
What about if you don't have that many followers on your Instagram and you're starting off these platforms and you don't really have a huge following? I mean, it's all about the algorithms, but if you put those hashtags, I haven't figured it out. Another
That's one of
hashtags.
the things that we talk about in my Empowered Agents program. I actually had a challenge where people increase their followers, because if you are going to do it, you do want to maximize the audience. So one of the things is to expand your audience. Tammy Cook, she did an awesome job at expanding her audience. She's here. And you just that's one of the things you have to work on. And there's a lot of, I mean, this was like a 1-hour thing. There's so many things to work on, but that is one very important thing. When I do the program, I started in order of things that you can do without a lot of money, that are the most effective. And actually next week we are doing social media. Our social media is our next, I think it's our next week topic. It's in the next 2 weeks, and that's how to build your base and expand your audience.
Is it too late to join?
No, you can join now. It's empoweredagents.com. It's $99 a month.
Worth it.
Cancel anytime. Yeah,
Okay.
every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. If you don't make the class at 9, it's streamed, so you can watch the class later. But also importantly, it's a really great group of agents, and everybody's really supportive. So there's a private Facebook group that during the week, if you get stuck on things, then you can ask the group, and the group is very helpful, really great agents. But every week I also do a question and answer. So when I'll do a 30-minute training and a 30-minute question and answer and help you things that are specifically helping you for $99.
So worth it.
Well, I mean, I've made millions of dollars and I'm telling you everything I know. So if you made one sale, like I'm certain if you take action, you'll make many sales, because you'll just start knowing what to say. You'll listen. You're like, I can't believe I just said that. Like, who you hang around matters. And when you're hanging around successful people, you're going to be learning things and become more successful. You made one sale, but depending on what market you're in, they'll pay for it for years at $99 a month. And I'm confident you'll make one sale from it, probably many. But
So where do we go for the link? Is it on your, are you going to
so
remind?
it's Empowered Agents, the letter M, poweredagents.com, Empowered Agents.
Empoweredagents.com.
Yeah, no E, just M, Empowered Agents. Yeah, every Wednesday, 9 o'clock, you can sign up month to month. We're having a lot of fun. Don't you think we're having a lot of fun, Tammy?
Yes. We are.
Thank you. But we're having a lot of fun, but I
Learning
think
a
we're
lot.
learning a lot, right?
And you can never stop learning, you guys. I mean, I learn something every day in this business, and I just can't say thank you enough, Mindy, for doing what you're doing for us today and doing what you do for us every week, because I do very well in the business as well, but I don't know it all. And I've learned already just in a couple of weeks that I've been with Mindy, I've already learned things. So thank you, Mindy.
Thank you. And you are very successful. I know I
Thank
think you
you.
made it the top 1%, right? In our company.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
You do very well. So yeah, I mean, you know what? I went to a book seminar years ago when I was writing my first book and found it very interesting. There were thousands of people in the audience, and Mark Victor Hansen was one of the attendees. Mark Victor Hansen is the best-selling author in history of all times. He wrote those Chicken Soup for the Soul books. And I wasn't a speaker at that event. I was just an attendee, but the speakers were reasonably well-known people, certainly not anyone to his level. Mark Victor Hansen sat in the front row and he wrote pages and pages and pages of notes. And I sat there and watched him, and he was learning so much from all these speakers that haven't accomplished a fraction of what he did. But it just goes to show that the most successful people are the ones that try to learn the most from everybody, because everybody has something to teach. So while he was the most knowledgeable person in the room, he was also the most coachable and the one taking the most notes. So I found that very interesting. So
Mhm.
we all have something to learn something every single day. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate that. Yasmin, did you have a question? I got about 10 minutes. I want to be really respectful of your time. And I want to be really respectful of the fact that you guys are going to get off this call and you're going to go take action and kick butt, because it's not just about knowing, it's about doing. Action, knowledge is not power. Action is power. So you're going to take action. So Yasmin, I think you had your hand up, right?
Mindy, can I
Yes.
ask a
Hi,
question?
Myron. Hi.
Yes, hi.
Hi, thanks for being
Thanks
on.
again.
Appreciate it.
In the open house portion, when you were going over, I was trying to write things that you were saying to say to people, and I didn't quite get it all. I
Oh,
just,
can you knock on the door?
yeah. Well,
Okay.
after when you were talking about like people that come into the open house and
Okay.
things to say to them and that kind of, I was just trying to take notes, and I
Okay.
just,
So yeah,
is
so
there,
you just welcome them. You say hi and welcome.
right?
And see, every little thing, that's what most people don't realize, is every little word makes a difference. And I've studied a lot of psychology, NLP, I've studied everything over the past 24 years. Every word makes a difference. If you say, how are you? That's irrelevant information, right? So you need to come out with the proper words and what to say. You don't ask them how they are. It doesn't matter. You want to know, well, first of all, I say, hi, welcome. My name's Myron. Okay. And then that's probably going to get them to say their names. And then you say, what are you guys up to today? Because you want to know, why are they there? They're going to tell you. Now we're going to tell, oh, we're just looking, or, oh, we're just live next door, or, oh, well, we're looking for, we saw it on Zillow, so we came in. So you're going to immediately know then what their level of interest is. And then you're going to let them, give them information on the house, let them look around. Then you're going to ask them, so what do you think? Because you're going to listen intently to see what they think, what they like and what they don't like. And then you're going to ask them, what are you looking for? Well, first you're going to build rapport. Before those two questions, you're going to, oh, where are you guys from? Oh, really? Well, I'm from such and such. Oh, I went there one time. It was amazing. Talk to them. Like, just don't come across as like, let them relax. Let them not feel like they're being sold. Nobody likes to be sold. People love to buy, but they don't like to be sold. And then build that rapport with them. And then find out what they want. And then this is how you get them to register. You say, well, I might have something coming on. I think it might be perfect for you, but I can't tell you about it now because it's not on the market, but give me your contact info and I'll email you or I'll contact you before it hits the market. Because then you're like you're doing my favor, right? So then you got the contact info. Boom, that's the reason you're there.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks for asking the question. Lori asked the question, do you still register customers at open house when they are working with another realtor? If they tell me they're working with another realtor, sure, because I like to contact their realtor and say, hey, your buyers came, and just so they know. So yes, absolutely. Who else has their hand up? Anybody else have a question? Don't be shy.
Hey Mindy, it's Trish Kirby.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
Thanks for
doing great, thank you. I have a question. You mentioned checklists. Do you have any checklists that you're willing to share with us?
I am not willing to share unless you join the program. Sorry.
Okay, if we join the program though, do you share these kind of materials with people?
So I will share my checklist. Yes. I will, yeah, I'll share with you. I'll share with you. It's not really rocket science. Like everybody's got different checklists, but I'll be happy to share it with you. But that's
Thank
one of the benefits of joining my program is getting all this information. So, and I also am starting a team. I have people that I mentor. So I have I call it a team, but it's not really a team. It's a 10 deal mentor program. So that's one-on-one. So these people, the empowered agents, we get once a week, 9 o'clock, we get the, I'm not here to sell you guys, but you asked the question, like, this wasn't like a sales call, but since you asked, so on the Empowered Agents program, you get the Facebook group. We do things, during the week, but you get the call every Wednesday at 9, and then the question and answer. With my mentor program, these people get me whenever they want. I help them with open houses. I help them with listings. I help them anytime I drop everything I have for them. I co-list properties with them. That's a one-on-one mentor program. That's a 10 deal type thing I started. I have 3 people and I have 4 people and I'm going to do, I think 3 more, maybe 4 more. So if you're interested in that, let me know.
What is the deal with that? Is that a different structure?
Yeah. Shoot me an email and I'll send you the info on that.
Will do. Thank you.
It's 10 deal with a percentage that goes down with each deal. So it starts here and goes down. Every deal goes less and less. It's a 10 deal program.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Thanks for asking. Okay, who else? Yasmin. Yasmin, I think you're on mute. Your hand is up, but you're on mute. Yasmin
Right.
Brown.
I'm trying to unmute the phone. Are you going to stream this out, a copy of this? Since
Do
it
you
was
know,
recorded?
I believe, okay, it is streaming in the Empowered Agents group. I tried to stream it to YouTube. I will at the very least put it on my YouTube page. I think you're going to get a recording of this afterwards, but if you don't, then I will put it on my YouTube page. It's being recorded right now, so I definitely will do that. Okay, thank you. Thanks for being here, James. Josephine, you had another question? Unmute, please.
Yes. So if when I join the empowered agent group, do I get the back information that I know you joined a few weeks ago? You started the program a few weeks ago. Do I get that back information?
Yeah, it's on the Facebook page.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Recorded.
So you guys that are joining now, you get lucky because you get all the stuff that everyone has been paying for I think we're on week 5 or 6 now. It's been really fun. Oh yeah, Shelly's in the group. Shelly's a rock star. Shelly, when you tell Shelly to do something, she does it, boy. She's killing it. You're killing it, Shelly. She implements everything, and it's about action, not just knowing, right? Shelly, you're on mute. Oh, you're on mute. Hold on, I can't hear you.
I'm on my iPad, so I'm a little iPad.
Oh,
Thank you
thanks.
for your compliments. Thank you. I'm multitasking.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. All right. Let's see who else has questions. I'm trying to answer something in the chat. Oh, hold on. I put the wrong one. Hold on. I typed too fast. empoweredagents.com. All right, cool. Who else has questions? We got 8 minutes and then I gotta go. Anyone? I'm happy to help. Just ask me. I can help you with any questions you have, any challenges, any situations. You guys know it all.
Yasmin's trying to get her hand up.
Yasmin, I know I've been calling you. Yasmin, let's go. What you got, girl? I can't hear you. Oh, unmute. You don't have a question? Okay, you asked it. Okay, all right, got you. All right, your hand's up. All right, guys. Well, it's been great. I appreciate you all being here, taking the time out of your day. I have so much respect for you for making the effort to do this, and I appreciate you. Before I leave, I want to remind you of one thing. I want you all to know this. You are capable of a lot more than you think. There's a gap right now between where you are and where you want to be. And you're going to fill that gap by focusing on the possibilities of the future, not what you've done in the past and not where you are right now. You're going to fill that gap by believing in yourself and taking action every day. You'll fill that gap by focusing on what you want and why you want it. So turn off the noise, turn off the doubt. Someone else is living your dream. Someone else is doing your dream right now. Why not you? Now it's your turn. Go get it, okay? Take action every day, relentlessly. Go live the life that you deserve, okay? I'm proof. I'm not smarter than you. I'm not special. I had nothing, okay? But you can do this. You can do whatever you want. So go do it. Go take action and go kick butt, all right? I hope to see you guys all in the Empowered Agents program. And I thank you all so much for being here, okay?
You're awesome, Mindy. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mindy. Have a great
Thanks so
day.
much.
Thank you, Mindy.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.